Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Chico. Reverend Michael Benson, your pastor, your speaker this morning. We're speaking on the title, Living Free and Easy. I am so glad, truly glad that you're with us this morning. Either here in our Greater Chico home or in the U-verse on YouTube, because that's where we go to. So if you've not seen our e-blast, the center line, and wish to be on that, please see one of the ushers today and they'll sign you up. It's a way to stay connected, and if you're not here, you're traveling, you can get to see the lessons every week. And if you missed one, you can do like a marathon. People do marathons like with lessons, I'm told, like they do with Downton Abbey. 13 hours Downton Abbey, red and love. But so that's available. That's available. So I begin with a funny. The 4th of July was coming, and the nursery school teacher took the opportunity to tell her class about patriotism. We live in a great country, she said. One of the things we should be happy for is that in this country, we are all free. One little boy, named Michael, came walking up, stood in front of her, put his hands on his hips, and he said, "I'm not free, I'm for." What do you think when people tell you you're free? Oh yeah, but. Great. Yeah. Oh yeah, but. But what about that? Well, I don't feel so free sometimes because of whatever. It's your experience, and it's real to you. It's always real to you because it is your experience. Don't diminish that. It's your experience. So happy 4th of July weekend. Because yesterday was 4th of July, we have a whole weekend, which is wonderful, isn't it? Some people were off Friday, and some get Friday and Monday, and some even take a whole week. Isn't it? That's great. Did you celebrate the 4th of July?
Yes.
Yeah. There are many ways. There's many ways to do this, and we see it all around us, and we partake of some of them, and it might be a parade, and I know there are family gatherings. I was included in several. I can't get to all of them. Isn't that great? that I was invited. Concerts, a lot of concerts, yeah. The military honors. How many of you in the audience here are military, retired, served? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Sam? Yeah, Sam. So there's 5, so my pleasure, thank you. There's fireworks. I accepted a dinner with a friend last night. It was part of my nourishment healing program after my surgery, which I'll talk more about later. So that's what I did last night. It was great. I got to get out of the house and go mess up someone else's kitchen. And I chose to watch the Chico fireworks displays as well, but from my home. Looking out the windows, I can see. I have a nice crow's nest that I can look out and look over the valley. I was not going to sit in the sizzle. It was a choice. It was my choice. Because freedom is about choosing. And I chose to live that moment in a comfortable fashion. Cool and comfortable. It surely was. That was it for me. So we each have a different way of doing it, whatever it is. To live free and to live easy. Well, to me, it has two components, the free and easy. It's choosing an idea is one, and accepting the action to its fulfillment is the other. So we choose an idea, and then we accept that action required for it to come about. The number one choosing an idea is the living free aspect, our freedom to choose. You might say, well, how do I do that? Well, you're free to choose any idea. Any idea. Now, we've been taught not to. That's not, you aren't good enough for that one. You can't have that. And I don't care how long I've worked on it, I still have some of those. And I say thank you when they show up. Because there's power when you know what's in your belief system. To either keep it or let it go. You may also ask yourself, how do I know which idea? Because we have lots of them, don't we? Which ones give me the pleasure and the greater sense of freedom? Well, for me, there's an inner sense of excitement. There's a rush of energy. It's a that's for me inner voice that says, yeah, that's mine. And that's how I always know. Not just, oh, I want it because so-and-so has one of those. Or because it's the fashion to wear. Or it's the whatever it is. There's an inner rush of excitement. I know it's the God self in me. It's that God self, that inner wisdom, that guide. And it guards and directs every conscious idea. I like that guards and directs. Because when we're clear, we have our path well intended. And not as many intruders on our ideas are allowed to come in because we're clear. We're armored up spiritually. The second, the easy aspect sounds easy. Accepting the action to its fulfillment. But is many times the most challenging. Why? It may take longer than expected to experience your idea. How many of us have exclaimed, well, that's for me, and that takes a long time to show up, or that feeling, that experience. You see, an idea remains an idea until there is action taken toward it. And Dr. Carolyn talked about this last week. We've got to do our work. We have an idea. We give a lip service, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, ain't it great? But until we take action, we're prisoners of our own idea. We're prisoners of our own ideas in a limited sense. So 4 years ago, Reverend Louie and I, and many of you, worked the idea of purchasing a building to be the home of our Greater Chico spiritual community. There was a lot of work, wasn't there? It's a lot of work. Mental, emotional, financial, and, oh my God, physical. All of that. All of that. Some people go, no! And there's yes! So there's lots of pushing, pulling, and a tug. But it was activity. We gave it life. We worked the idea. And it took many months to land here, and then many more months to have it created in our own image, if you will, of how we thought it should be. So those of you who were part of it at that time remember It's like waiting for a baby to arrive. We were pregnant so long. Oh my God. It's the elephant. But finally, the day arrived. And as you may remember, those of you who were at our previous location, were encouraged to wear moving clothes if you plan to help move. And gosh, 90% of the people wore moving clothes that day to church. And after Sunday service, work began. And it was amazing. Every bee had its own little pod to move to. And it was just perfect. The perfect numbers of people in the perfect place. The divine idea was coming about. And by 5 o'clock that same day, we were here. We were moved in 5 hours. There's the rush of spirit. There's the pull that cannot be denied. Now, that's not only working the principle, spiritual principle, but we were working our physical endurance too. So it was kind of a push-pull, push-pull. But I know sometimes that a push or a rush can equal, a rush can equal a push. A rush can equal a push because you push-pull. Because you can ask the guys who moved the refrigerators and the chairs. Sometimes they were pushing, sometimes they were pulling. Spirit works in all directions. All directions. And it was all happening at once. All happening at once. And the very next Sunday, first service was here. Just amazing. Awesome. And yet natural. That it should happen that way. But what I clearly remember after all that pushing and pulling on that day at 5 o'clock were the smiles on people's face. It's like, oh, look at the baby. Isn't it beautiful? Perfect size, whatever, because we were set free to enjoy this loving, beautiful space. We let ourselves have permission to share not only in this space, but then to offer the teaching of science of life. It's important to accept the work your great idea may require. I'll say that again. It's important to accept the work your great idea may require. Living free and easy sometimes requires work. It isn't just sitting back watching the solar panels produce. Well, that works too. But if you get to work that easy, good for you. So, 4th of July is definitely a time to remember our salute to freedom and our freedom of choice. Freedom is a powerful word and an even more powerful idea when we understand a greater idea of what it means to be free. If I were to ask you to define freedom in your own words, for your own life, what would be your response? I submit the ideas would be quite varied and some quite profound. Might even surprise you yourself if you thought about it in a group session, just some crosstalk. And why so different from each other? Why so profound? We live in one nation, under God, all that, and yet there's so many ideas of freedom. Well, each of us has an individual concept of the idea of freedom. And of course, there are the ones that are on top of most of our list, like freedom of speech, religion, all that. But when you allow yourself to go deeper into your beliefs and really take a look at where you are being free, that's getting to the core of you. It's arriving at what you believe about you. It's arriving at what you believe about your freedom. It's arriving at what you believe are your limitations. Trust me, we have those. They're not always pretty. Now, that said, some limitations might be considered our boundaries to keep us safe, and that's okay too. So, but know if they're a limit to the freedom, a boundary is a limit, not a limit to our freedom. It keeps us free from things that don't serve us. So the whole concept of being free is to be, for me, free thinking, open to new ideas, not getting stuck, not getting rigid. I welcome ideas from all of you about how we're doing. How are we doing? Are you being served? Are you learning here? What would you like? More classes? What kind of classes do you want? We're doing a fun one. Thank you, Andy. One day. And I'm offering one beginning in August. It's 10 week. Merriman and Morrissey. So, on Prosperity Plus, the second version. Now, if you haven't taken the first one, you can do the second one. But it's just more of it. So for me, freedom is the effect of trust and of ease in life. There's trusting in your choices and the ease of moving into them, and the grace that happens when you are experiencing yourself in that way. I had surgery on Monday. It was for an abdominal hernia. And work happened before surgery here last Sunday. Dr. Carolyn went right into mode, and she organized food for me. Thank you very much. That's how the divine idea works when it's right. The perfect things fall into place, whatever they are. Whatever they are, they're in place. They happen how they're supposed to happen, and I always trust that. So, it's Monday. I'm delivered to the surgery center. I was to check in at 9:45. I signed in at 9:30. I was anxious. 9:50, they call my name. I do the paperwork. 10 o'clock, I'm back in the room with a little blue hat and the robe and the booties, waiting for the doctors. And you can't see anything because there's this curtain. It's like, sort of like your mind's, oh, what's going on in there? I don't quite know what's going on, but I hear it. What's going on? But I'm calm and I'm trusting because no reason not to. There's a nurse change, a shift change, just before I go in. And in steps this, replacing this young thing, who was very confident, this more wisdom-filled woman, her blue hat, her uniform. She steps up and she goes, they ask you, what's your name, and when were you born, and you got to ask all that. And I said, what is your name? She says, oh, my name is Faith. I said, so Faith just stepped into this surgery person? Yes. I said, you're wrong. We had a great time. And so surgery was great. It was only half an hour, not an hour and a half. The usual recovery stuff, ow, drug. But that was over in a couple of days. No pain. No pain. I just know that I'm well supported in whatever I do, whatever it is. And so it happened so timely. 10 days from surgeon appointment to surgery. So it was easy, it was fluid, it was good, and it worked. I had no doubt, no limitation around that. Because I know the limitation is a real to us made up experience. It's a real to us made up experience. Because it is real to us. We've made it our own. And I call those moments of indecision teeter-totters in our consciousness. It's a feeling of being, doing, I don't know. Fear, faith. Fear, faith. Fear, faith. And it's a ride to nowhere, let me tell you, because you're on that same old. So how do we get off this ride to nowhere? That's the question. Well, here's a clue by James Thurber, who wrote, all people should strive to learn before they die what they're running from and to, and why. Why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Our commitment to the understanding of truth is a great way to begin clearing the clutter of a scattered, teeter-totter way of living. Because that teeter-totter does not set you free. So why truth? And what is truth? And why truth? Because truth is changeless, it's constant, and is never scattered. It's never scattered. It comes to us as a single piece of paper, if you will. If this is all the truth, we do this to it. We break it apart. We scatter it around. We rename parts of it. Truth never changes. It's constant. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, compiled Science of Mind textbook. And in it he wrote about freedom. He wrote, freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. The inherent nature of man is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. Here's the quote. So freedom is the inner knowing of our individual souls. There's this saying, the truth will set you free. I say the truth will set you, make you, allow you to be free. And that is a divine idea that is universally held from religion to religion. However organized it is, the basic part of it is on the idea of truth and what is constant. Jean-Paul Sartre said, once freedom lights its beacon in a person's heart, the gods are all powerless against that individual. Nothing stands in the way. Which for me says, once illuminated, the omnipotence of God, the ever powerful influence is full steam ahead, and without question. Fully supportive of what is true. This is what I know is true for me and for you. Once the light has filled darkness of uncertainty and replaced it with love, truth, and acceptance, watch out. Watch out. There is no stopping it. It is real freedom in life, the ability to be so clear and knowing and unwavering without being bullheaded. There's knowing and then there's pushing. I pushed. I might push again. Call me on it if I do, okay? I give you permission. There is one symbol of freedom that I want to kind of wrap up with here today. And it's a symbol in the world. Quite significant. This imposing presence holds a beacon of light and is considered the consummate goodwill ambassador. She was welcomed by the world in 1886 and is of American and French ancestry. At 129 years old, she's still quite a looker. Her name? Statue of Liberty. Eat your heart out, Eileen. Oops. Oh well, I guess it's going to rhyme. I'll read. Go on. And the inscription on her base says, send those, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the gold door. Isn't that wonderful? Beloveds, remember you are capable, you are equipped, and you are worthy of all the freedom that you can conceive, and more. And more. So get off the teeter-totter Let the presence of light of your inner wisdom shine. Hold it up proudly. And go into the safe harbor known as Spirit through the open door, the gold doors of universal wisdom. So today I salute you with love as you move into your lives, joy-filled, free, and doing it with ease. Please accept the truth of your spiritual magnificence, more so today than ever, in this whole weekend of the ideas of freedom. Because it's always a greater idea for your life. Accept it, embrace it, share it, and know you're loved. Namaste.